We have a lot to talk to. So I just wanted to see who's out there. Hello. Hello, guys. I have a lot to talk. I have a lot to cover today. First of all, whoever's out there, thank you for watching. There's a few topics because there's a lot that has happened, hasn't it? I'm going to start with something. I received a few emails about how Harry and Meghan Markle are bringing down, hello Denise, are bringing down the monarchy. I don't think they are. The monarchy themselves are bringing themselves down because they're allowing all these abuses to continue. Because if they were, for example, they haven't taken a stand in regards to what Harry and Meghan Markle are doing. It's not us. It's not the monarchy. Therefore, we do not condone that behavior. We do not condone those abuses. But instead of doing that, they enable it. They allow it. So it's not that so much as Harry and Meghan, what they do is what the monarchy allows. Let me give you an example, which was really, I was really angry. I don't know about you, but I was really angry. Sarah Ferguson did a spread on whatever, right? Townhouse or a bazaar, whatever. Her pictures are being taken in a property, Crown State property, in royal grounds. So she is freeloading there. This is a woman who should have been at least put in jail for at least 2 years when she was caught selling her influence or the influence with the royal family. She should have been at least 2 years in jail. Nothing happened. So now this woman from the grounds of royal grounds, Angela, thank you for logging in. And yet she's trashing the monarchy, implying that race was a factor in Harry and Meghan. They're idiots. They're all idiots, in my opinion. And please be aware that everything we discuss here, these are all my thoughts and opinions. And this thing is for entertainment purposes only. A lot of people say, why do you care what the royal family, what the monarchy does? The monarchy represents us. The queen is my head of state. You know, it's like the president. It's like you saying, my president doesn't count, or I don't care what my president does. Yes, it does, because the president represents you. So to Angela, whatever your name is, that's my answer, and you should know better. Besides, if you don't like the channel, you can just bugger off. Anyways, so we have Sarah, Duchess of York. Thank you, Chocolate Factory. We have the Duchess of York. This is a woman who is a criminal. I really, really want to stress that what she was caught doing on that video is criminal. Okay, so what she did was criminal. She should have been prosecuted and put in jail for at least 2 years. Instead, nothing happened. So the monarchy is not that Sarah is bringing the monarchy down, or Andrew or Charles or Harry and Meghan. It's the fact that they have been allowed to get, hello Rennie, nostalgic, how are you? It's the fact that their abuses have been allowed to go on without any consequences. Okay. So this is why the monarchy, if anything, I mean, Republic is even putting billboards outside with everything. You know what I mean? Yes, I do have my glass of wine. So it's not about that. It's not about what these people are doing. It's the fact that our monarch is allowing them to get away with that, instead of saying, wait a minute, no, This cannot continue. I don't care who you are, you cannot do this. Now, in California, and I'm going to touch upon this a little bit. And when I go back to Canada, I am going to start a petition asking the House of Commons to demand proof of, in the form of a certificate signed by the doctors who deliver Harry's children to be presented. That, and until that Canada should not recognize Harry's children in the line of succession, because if I'm correct, they have to be recognized by all the Commonwealth countries. I actually was talking to people and they were telling me, oh, they don't have to, because now they're hiding behind the fact that it's not written that they have to present the certificate with the doctor's signature. But if you go back to everything, the reason the Queen didn't need to have the Home Secretary present, but she had the 4 doctors when they signed, when they signed when her children were born, it was put outside a Buckingham Palace with the doctor's signature testifying to that. And all children, all of those children, we don't get their birth certificate. We get the certificate, that document with the doctor's signature stating that that child was born from the body of the royal lady. So that it meets all legalities. I know that there's other YouTubers that are saying that from the moment the royal children are born, they immediately get in the succession line. That is not true. And the reason why they're not put in immediately is because there are legalities involved. And the legalities in Harry and Meghan Markle have not been observed at all. To date, nobody has seen the document with the doctor's signature testifying to the fact that the child was born out of Meghan Markle's body. To date, that hasn't been done. The birth certificate can be amended, or it can be done with anything. So to date, that document with the doctor's signature, nobody has seen. So when I go back to Canada, I am going to start a petition, and we Canadians act much quicker. That we Canadians, I'm not going to ask the House of Commons to demand that certificate, not the birth certificate, because the birth certificate can be altered or amended, but the certificate with the doctor's signature. Now we know for sure that it wasn't Dr. Penelope Lowe who gave birth to Archie, and it wasn't the Dr. Martha Gowrie, I think her name is. She's a water birther or whatever. Because she has never held privileges at Portland Hospital, so there's no way that she could have been there as a coach, but not as a doctor with privileges who can certify that they took the child out of Meghan Markle's body. So, and they're refusing to give that. Just to give you an example, because a lot of people say, well, the birth certificate is enough. No, it's not. Even when you have a surrogate, even if they're used, for example, in the case of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, I'll give an example to my American friends. There was a surrogate involved, right? There's already a contract in place. Now, even though everybody knows that those children belong to Kim and Kanye West because of their eggs and the contract that's in hand, when the child is born, like taken out of the woman's body, the doctor testifies. There's a lot of reasons for that. Insurance, in case the woman dies, in case the child dies, or there's any complications. So it has to be stated that the child was born out of the surrogate's body, and they put the name of the surrogate because that is a fact, that a child or children were taken out of that woman's body. And number one, that the child was okay. Second, that the woman was okay, because if anything happened, again, I repeat myself, for insurance purposes. So in the certificate of live birth, it would say that the children were physically born out of this woman's body. The birth certificate would later reflect, with the proper documentation, that the legal parents are so and so. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I make myself clear. By law, even if it's irrelevant whether the woman is a surrogate or it's carrying eggs or whatever, the doctors, when they're delivering a child from a woman's body, that's what they're testifying to with that document, that they, whoever it was, pulled the child from that woman's womb, or whatever we want to call it, and that both were okay, or one died or one not, and this is why it's called a certificate of live birth. Amendments are made again later on. Now, what's missing and what Meghan and Harry have refused to present is that document. So until they do, and that document is lacking from everybody. This is why the royal family, and I heard from other YouTubers that, well, the royal family was stuck because once they presented the birth certificate stating, but they are legalities. And I think this is why people are so angry, because the legalities are being thrown out the window. Too many exceptions have happened with Harry and Meghan Markle, which is unlawful in so many ways. And these illegalities are escalating. And this is why, I mean, it has nothing to do with the children. And if it's found out that they refuse to present those documents, they are entitled not to present them. But there should be legal consequences as well, such as until you present those documents, the children cannot be in the succession line, period. And it has nothing to do with it. It's legalities. For example, if in order for you to get a passport, you have to meet certain legalities. And if you lie in the process of getting a passport, that is a criminal offense. They are lying in order to get privileges, especially, and also, in the international children's law, if you lie in anything to do with a child, it is a crime committed by the parents against the child. And I don't understand what is such a big mystery, because they have claimed that the child was born at Portland Hospital in London. Great. But Dr. Penelope Law did not help delivering that child. She was on leave. And that other doctor, that Martha Gorey, I think her name is, doesn't have any privileges at Portland Hospital. So what is the harm on presenting those documents? Now they're saying that Dr. Melissa Clark, in conjunction together with that doctor from London who did a video conference, is the one who delivered the child. But again, they're refusing to present the doctor's document with the signature saying, yes, I delivered the child from Meghan Markle's body. And that is in the certificate of live birth. It's not there. They have scratched the name. Everything is worded in such a way that is vague and deceitful. And that does not bode well for anybody. Because giving birth, it's very straightforward. I gave birth to my son, the doctors were there immediately. They gave that document, they signed it, because that document signed by the doctors gets sent to the birth registry, So that's what the problem is with the monarch right now in the monarchy. It's not the fact that you have a bunch of people, a bunch of crooks going around. First, that's bad, because royalty should represent the best of us. They should be above these things. This is why they have all these privileges, in order to, so they represent, they're unbiased, they're apolitical, they're not supposed to get involved with political matters. So all of that is failing, and nobody's holding them accountable. So they're running around committing all these abuses without any accountability. And that's why the monarchy is failing right now. This is why Republic is gaining so much. I gotta tell you, I'm a monarchist, but I don't want the monarchy the way it is right now. Too many abuses, too little, no accountability whatsoever. But I mean, that's just me. What do you guys think? So nice. So let me know what you think, please, because I like to engage in talks with you guys. And now we have somebody like Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, from the royal grounds, criticizing the family of racism about Meghan and Harry. You know what I mean? Also, actually, I was looking at the. I gotta tell you, I was looking at something. I don't know if any of you can help me out with this. I think it's called, it's this, that there was a Bill of Rights in 1689. And then it was ratified in 1701. So there's a paragraph that says that foreigners cannot hold royal titles or properties or favors or whatever. It's the 1701 Succession Act or something like that. I have to, I should actually Google these things before I get to you guys. So if that is the case, yeah, I know that Fergie is, and this is, I don't care what she's doing, this is the thing. I don't care what the reasons for Fergie, Meghan, Harry, Andrew, Charles, I don't care what the reasons are. The reasons are crazy to begin with, but it's the fact that they're allowed to get away with it, with so much. I'm trying to look up that Succession Act. I'm not very good at it. Oh, it's called the 1701 Act of Settlement in the United Kingdom, which ratified the 1689 Act. And there's a part there that says that foreigners cannot, here, I have it here, but I don't understand it, but I don't want to say too many things because, it says here, no foreigner, no person born out of the kingdoms of England, Scotland, or Ireland, even if naturalized or made a citizen, can be privy councillor or a member of either House of Parliament or hold any office or place of trust. And they cannot have any grants of lands, tenements, or any form of I don't know how to pronounce that word, from the crown. So it's basically that foreigners cannot be in any position of royalty or stuff like that. If I understand it correctly, please help me and find that out, because I understood that. And this is kind of like the thing that has to be amended, because then it proceeds to say no person who has an office under the monarch or receives a pension from the crown was to be a member of parliament. And this provision was inserted to avoid unwelcome royal influence over the House of Commons. And here we have Prince Charles continuously writing to members of parliament. And by the way, they're in a lot of hot water. I don't know if you heard about this, but about 3 or 4 years ago, actually Prince Charles is managing all of the Queen's affairs, and actually Sandringham and Balmoral, it's owned by a corporation set up by Prince Charles. I don't know if you know about Queen's consent. Queen's consent is that the Queen, members of Parliament, contact the Queen with saying, listen, would it be okay if we discuss this in Parliament, right? So the Queen has a heads up on what's going to be discussed in Parliament. And if it affects her or her interest, she can decide that they're not going to discuss it, or they are going to discuss it. Right now, Scotland passed the Green Law, which is basically everybody has to upgrade all of their houses, all of their homes to a environmentally friendly way of heating, electricity. It's the Green Bill, basically. And it was passed, but guess who is the only person who doesn't have to upgrade? Her private properties. Crown state properties will be upgraded, and of course it costs money to upgrade a property from old style of electricity and heating to the newer, more modern, more friendlier or environmentally friendly thing. So it's the Queen, and it was lobbied by her lawyers, but basically it's Prince Charles who's doing this, in spite of the fact that he's lobbying everybody for the environment, but he doesn't want to upgrade his properties because of course it costs money. So he'd much rather screw the environment, you know what I mean, than actually do the right thing. And people in Scotland are actually up in arms because this is not correct. So the Settlement Act of 1701 needs to be amended. And there's so many things, and this is why people are fed up with all the abuses. Fergie, that woman, shouldn't be living in royal grounds. What is she doing living in Crown State property, Now, Harry and Meghan are idiots. Something as important as the succession line should not be taken so lightly. They quit, and yet they're allowed to exploit the titles. And at the same time, slandering the royal family, because Harry and Meghan are confirmed liars. Now, I don't know, I've been posting about the appeal. The appeal is going to be heard in November. Now, to me, and this is just my opinion, to me, this is why, because I'm sure Harry and Meghan were notified that the appeal is going ahead, and I'm sure they try to stop it. I'm wondering what other tragedy Meghan is going to come up with so she doesn't have to testify in court, because now it's been confirmed that she lied in court previously here in England when she gave testimony. So she has to clarify that on their appeal. That means that the witnesses may be called, and I'm talking about her 5 Hampton friends, her father may be called to give testimony. So I wonder what tragedy she's going to make up. And I think that all of this that you've been hearing about Harry's book is a direct result of the fact that they were notified and they tried to have the Queen stop this from going ahead. I don't trust the York daughters at all. You know that when their mother was caught, committing that crime, they were not angry that their mother was such a crook. They were angry at the reporters who caught her mother, saying that they set her up. The only reason why they were able to set her up is because she had been doing it for a while. This is not a one-time string. These people heard about what was going on and they did set her up. Hello, Christine. Yes. So the Yorks, I don't trust them. They don't come from good stock. Sarah is not a very good person. And they're very good friends with Oprah, extremely good friends. I know that Beatrice was flown, when she was in Ibiza, she was flown by private helicopter to party with Oprah on one of her friends' yachts and stuff like that. So I don't trust them either. The point is that it's a sad day when pretty much all of members of the royal family cannot be trusted. That's a pretty sad day for me. I am a royalist, and the monarchy works well when it's honest. But basically, we have Prince William and the Duchess of Cambridge carrying the burden for everybody. That's what really comes down to, because and the Countess of Wessex and Prince Edward, those 4 are carrying the burden of everybody's misdeeds. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Now, Meghan is an idiot. This woman is not a smart person. And the only reason why she continues to talk and they continue to do all of this is because she's been allowed to get away with this. I didn't watch the show about bullying the royal children. I found that in poor taste. And I like The Simpsons. I don't know if you've heard of a show called The Archer that I like a lot. But this show, it's basically bullying 3 white children. And I'm going to use the word white because they didn't pick on Archie. White, it would have made more sense to make a parody about Harry and Meghan and their children, because there's a lot more material there. You know what I mean? I don't know if because they are in the US. But they didn't do that. They picked 3 children because it's not even based on Prince William and his wife. It's based, the main character is the child. And a lot of people have written to me, said, oh, you don't find it funny because it's generational, because I'm too old. No. Funny is funny no matter what generation it is. Grabbing a children's name, because they didn't change the children's name, they didn't change the location, they didn't change anything. People are cruel, children are cruel, teenagers are cruel. They're going to make fun of these kids and what they're going to do with their lives. They're growing up. And yet this was allowed. And I saw some Americans say, oh, it's so funny. And actually it got bad reviews because it's just swearing and swearing. You know that you have a bad script when you have to rely a lot on swearing. And even that doesn't carry the whole thing. So for me, I'm very open-minded about things, but I work with bullies, helping children who recover from bullying. And I can tell you, I mean, that is a gold mine for a bully. And these children go to school. They have it hard as it is, so they have to meet their peers, and they're gonna be made fun of. So, and that was allowed. Thankfully, it's such a crappy show that even the United States are saying that it is really a bad show. But still, it was made. And yet, why didn't they do it on Harry and Meghan? That has a lot of material. And Archie, that's even more material. They couldn't even put the phantom child there, Lily. And they didn't do that. Orlando Bloom is an idiot who's a has-been too. Georgina Lindsay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to see because I'm having my phone here, but I still don't know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to see what it is that I'm doing here, because I'm not seeing the. I don't know how to answer it many times. Let me see. Georgina Lindsay, can you tell me what your comment was about? Because, the thing is that the comments appear and disappear here. So for me, that was very poor taste. But why does that happen? That is just a symptom, because the royal family has set themselves up to be, they have lost a lot of respect worldwide, to the point that even the children aren't off limits. You know what I mean? So, and yes, I can guarantee you that Harry and Meghan would sue if they use Archie without their consent, because even though they put a little disclaimer, I think they put a little disclaimer on the thing that said, oh, this is just, even though they have the names, they didn't even bother to change the names. They didn't even bother to change the likeness. They didn't bother to do anything. You know what I mean? And these people are, and I started laughing because I don't know why they didn't do, for example, the Obama's teenagers. That's a lot of fun. And the Prince Philip jokes, I haven't seen it. They said that it was even worse. You know what I mean? So whoever's doing this, and apparently Meghan didn't come off bad there. Harry won't have any future regrets. This is a man who has, and this is what people don't understand. I don't know if you've ever been with somebody who they say, oh, but he's such a nice guy, but when he drinks, he changes. He uses alcohol as an excuse to be mean and then justify it with the alcohol. This is who Harry is. Harry is a man with no morals. This is a man with absolutely, he is a psychopath. Him and Meghan Markle are psychopaths. He chose a mate, a partner that had his same set of values. Now, for people to sit there and say that Meghan changed Harry, no, they both complement each other very well. And it's a clique of people. And I'll tell you what's so funny about it, because people like that, they're all very best friends until they're exposed, and they all leave you alone. They're not loyal. They don't support you. I don't know if I'm making myself, clear about this. They're not a loyal people. They're only people for the moment. I don't know about the connection. It's actually pouring rain outside. This is why I'm not doing my live feed outside, and unfortunately, internet, I'm sorry about that. I hope some of you are getting me. So thank you. So what do you guys think? I really do believe that it's a sad day for the monarchy, that they lost respect. And I put that on Twitter, that they lost respect because they fail to ensure that good standards and morals are followed by the members who represent us, you know, and they're failing that, and they're allowing, and they're allowing that to happen. I already told you that as soon as I go back to Canada in October. So when I get there, I'm starting my petition because I have to be in Canada and I do parliamentary petitions. I'm also going to ask you wholeheartedly that if you're British, please sign the petition that I've been, that I posted it in my YouTube channel and on Twitter. I support that petition, okay? It's a parliamentary petition. It's only got like 2,000 signatures. The guy needs at least 10,000 so Parliament can give him an answer, in 100,000 signatures to be discussed in Parliament. Even if I get 1,000 of you or 100 of you and you sign it and then you pass it on to 2 of your friends, you will have it. You will have that, because that's actually a very straightforward and decent petition, which is basically that if you don't want to be a working royal, you're not entitled to be in the line of succession, nor if you quit royalty, if you quit your job, basically as a royal, you cannot use. I don't support Lady C's petition because to me that's just dumb. It's asking Harry to ask his grandma to put his titles on hold. Harry's never going to do that, and I think he has already answered many times that he's going to use his titles. People are going to have to pry those titles from their cold dead hands. It's time for the monarchy to clean house, just like King Felipe of Spain did. You know what I mean? Or King Hussein of Jordan. The king of Jordan. He put his brother under house arrest because he was creating this instability and trying to usurp, the power and stuff like that. Harry and Meghan are just being Renee 28. That's not my petition, but I do support it. It's very straightforward. The guy is just basically asking if they have quit working for the royal family and they no longer want to follow their duties, then they shouldn't have the royal titles and they shouldn't be in the line of succession. It actually makes sense. You know what I mean? And yes, when I do go to Canada, I will promote a petition to the Canadian House of Commons, asking them to please demand that Harry and Meghan produce that certificate in order for the children to be recognized in the line of succession, because they've been allowed to get away with so much. And again, this appeal that's coming, I really do believe this is the big noise that you've heard. Remember that job that Harry said he had? What was it called? The chimpo? You remember the chimpo, that he was getting 6 figures with this chimpo thing? And now with the book deal. I mean, how many lies? And the worst thing is that everything they say can and will be used against them in a court of law, which is why they're so stupid. This is like this Omid Scooby guy going back saying, oh, I'm gonna write more and Finding Freedom. Everybody already knows that book is filled with lies. And they don't get it. People say, hey, Meghan is so smart. She's not smart. She's very stupid because she keeps digging her own grave, like making more mistakes, putting more things in writing. And I'll tell you something else. They will be going to trial. They're going on in November. And the sad part of it all is that the press has been quiet about it. I don't know why they've been quiet. This is something that's big news and people have been waiting for it. And yet there's no articles in the press. I don't know why. This is actually newsworthy. And this is a way for them to put pressure on Harry and Meghan, giving the details and everything, putting pressure on the 5 friends. I don't think Meghan has 5 friends, but, putting pressure on them anyways. So they are surrounded. Now this guy, that Harry, the prince, that he wasn't born, but now the man he's become while signing Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. I mean, he didn't use his Royal Highness because he's not allowed to use it publicly. But they're putting all the titles. So I think they have given answer to Lady C's petition about asking the Queen to put his titles on a base. It's not going to do it. I'm talking about, Trace, I'm talking about the appeal, the letter appeal, because it has been granted and it will be heard in November. So it is very possible that the witnesses from Buckingham Palace the 5 witnesses who supposedly leaked the letter, contents of the private letter. And I gotta tell you something. I don't know why Mr. Markle has not reported, because in the United States, it's a felony if somebody discloses contents of a private letter. There's only one way that people would know the contents of a private letter: the person who sends it or the person who receives it. Now, People magazine went and printed an article saying the truth about the letter, and basically very specific contents of that letter were discussed. How did they get that content? How did the 5 friends get the contents? A lot of people say don't bother. Why? We're tired of talking. Let me tell you something. This is what people do. They play the long game. They hope that people will get discouraged, disheartened, and quit. But when people don't get discouraged and disheartened and their voices get louder, they will have to listen. You know what? I'm going to make a little thing here, a little bit on the sidetrack. Britney Spears, who's going to give back this woman her past 13 years? She didn't give up. Nobody was listening to her. She was being ridiculed up till recently. Now all these people who used to criticize her and used to ridicule her, and people used to say that what's the point? Now they're asking her forgiveness, but her fans didn't give up. They held marches, and I do urge people to march. Enough is enough. Republic is actually putting 17 banners around, like on the roads and stuff like that, about it's time to give away, to remove the monarchy, to abolish the monarchy, which is a sad thing. I don't know about abolishing the monarchy, but it cannot continue the way it is. It really cannot. Charles, in my humble opinion, is not fit to be king. This is a man who had very close ties with two of the biggest, most recent UK pedophiles, and he defended them till pretty much they died. He even gave home to one of them when he was kicked out of the being a bishop. He gave him a home in the Duchy of Cornwall so he and his twin brother could be there. So no, he is too political. And this is why monarchy was abolished. They can't be political. But he has been, and also he's lobbying too much for his own financial interest. He's getting greedy, and at the same time, as I told you, he lobbied in Scotland to have Sandringham, Balmoral, all of the Queen's private residents exempt from the Green Bill, so they don't have to upgrade their homes to be more environmentally friendly because it's just too expensive. And I can guarantee you that they would get tax deductions from whatever expenses they do. And all of this while he is lobbying worldwide, pretending to be the face of the environment and caring about the environment. So in regards, I'm just going to say this, in regards to, I get a lot of emails from people telling me that I hate the children in Meghan Markle's children. I don't know them. It's so funny. I don't know if you follow the Harry Markle blog. She talks about when the Queen gave her statement that Harry and Meghan will always be beloved members of the royal family. This is an endorsement for them. This is a warning for anybody not to be mean to them, saying, hey, we might have our difference, but we love them. Now, how can the Queen honestly, hand on heart, say that she loves Meghan? She barely saw this woman, 3-4 times? And Meghan refused to take her kid to spend Christmas with her. I mean, how can you love somebody who you don't see and who creates, she can say, we will always love Harry, but not Meghan. But the fact that the Queen said they remain very much loved members of the family, that is endorsement and a protection to them. So the world knows that, hey, we'll back them no matter what. And that is bad, because they should have just left it at recollections may vary, and and that's it. Then we wish them luck. But by the Queen saying that they remain very much loved members of the royal family, it helps them. And they shouldn't be helped anymore. And this is the point that we get at. So the monarchy is not that the monarchy is a bad concept. I really love the monarchy, but not the way it is right now. I actually do endorse the Jordanian monarchy because the king has balls, and he put his brother in jail because He was really creating, he craved power and he was destabilizing the Middle East. That's not good. King Felipe, his brother-in-law, who used to be his best friend, is in jail currently because he did what Harry and Meghan have been done, which is abusing their position for financial gains. He didn't interfere and he went to trial, and Iñaki is sitting in jail. I think he gets out in 2 years' time or something like that. And and his sisters are gone. You don't see their sisters anywhere, No, and it has nothing to do with mental health issues. People, oh, they have mental health issues. No, 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 no. They know what the hell they're doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know what? See, thank you very much. Thank you. They know. Don't tell me that they have mental health issues. Being a nasty asshole doesn't mean that you have mental health issues. That means that they're just nasty jerks. That's all there is to it. No mental health issues there. And they don't care. They're truly psychopathic because they don't care about anybody else but themselves. And they have shown, especially Harry, they have shown that they will do whatever it takes. Thank you. Thank you for being my fan. But they have shown that they will do whatever it takes. Harry, please, people, quit saying that Harry, this was Harry all along. Okay? And Meghan is basically open the gates to who he is. That's my humble opinion. Now, Harry does not have mental health issues. He has always been an entitled, arrogant jerk. Buckingham Palace had curved his worst instincts. You know what I mean? But envy has always been a very good companion of Prince Harry. And they were never senior royals. They were, thank you, Adiva Abdul Shatar. Malaysia, wow. I love to go to Malaysia. Yeah, I know, John Adam, she has zero in Australia. Wow, I love Australia. Thank you, Trace. Meghan Markle and Harry, how can I put it? I have my son. You know how people say the queen is powerless? I'm sorry, I'm gonna swear. This is just a warning. That's bullshit. I'm gonna even tell you this. I don't know how well you guys know the history of the Duke of Windsor. He used to be king and then he abdicated, right? Okay, usually in order to pass an instrument or an act in parliament, it takes a couple of months, 3 months if they really hurry it. When the King Edward, I think he was King Edward, I think, abdicated on December 10th, if I'm not remembering wrong, in 1936, December 10th, immediately within 2-3 hours, they drafted the letter of abdication, what's called the instrument of abdication, and they sent it to Buckingham Palace. And the very next day, when the new king signed it, when he gave his royal assent, it became into effect immediately. It took less than 25 hours to get that passed. So when they want to, they act very quickly. So the queen is being allowed, Harry and Meghan are being allowed to get away with a lot with backing of Parliament as well, because Parliament has a lot of power to urge the queen or to demand that these two certificates be presented and made public in order to put them in the line of succession. So my whole point, hello, Elaine in Botswana. My whole point is that when government wants and the queen wants or the monarch wants, they act really quickly. And there are 25 hours, guys, not very long to pass an act in parliament and get royal assent. Okay, so when they want to, hello, Michael Roberts from Florida, when they want to, they act really quickly. Okay, when all their interests are aligned. So right now, what they're failing to see is that their interest, they're not serving even their own interest. Because trust me, the House of Lords exists because people are allowing it to exist. They don't understand that what they're doing is actually causing themselves a lot more damage. Credibility is, as you all know, and respect, those two are really hard to get and very easy to lose. So once, and the bitch of it all is once that's gone, it's gone. It's almost impossible to get it back. So the royal family has lost, in my opinion, all their credibility. But this is just my opinion. Does any of you, I don't know, but I don't trust anything, and I love the queen, but by what's happening, I don't either. She's not in charge or whatever, because all of her good work of 70 years is down the toilet in one act, or actually a series of acts. What needs to be done? A lot of you have asked me. Prince Andrew, I don't think he's a pedophile, but he's a jerk and a dirty old man, but that's not a crime. And he has lied about things. And again, I've always made this myself very clear that if he gets caught, it will be in really shady financial deals. But he should make himself available to the authorities, like publicly, put himself out there and say, listen, I am free for investigation, not in writing, not sending written things and putting conditions, but saying, hey, listen, you know what? I made a mistake, or whatever was going on. I wasn't aware of it. I am very sorry for that, but I will more than happy to answer all of your questions. So he needs that transparency and a public investigation. The bullying with Meghan Markle, and now I'm going to be very clear about this because I'm very angry about this. They covered it up for 2 years, and they much rather lose proper professionals, knowing that they were unfairly leaving their job with really mental health issues, given to their bad treatment, rather than address at once the causes for that situation. And it wasn't until the New York Times, I think it was, that they exposed them, that now they're having an investigation. But that investigation is going to be held as a family. And this is not a family issue, okay? That staff, those employees are financed or were paid for by the UK taxpayers. So the UK taxpayer, this is not a private farm. And even people in private organizations, they have rights that they can't be treated like that. My point is that the royal family decided that you better leave, and we're going to get somebody else who's going to take up the abuse, and we're going to keep hiring people that put up with the abuse until, we run out of people to be abused. Instead of holding Meghan Markle accountable and Harry, they much rather do that. I understand that Prince William isolated himself and he kicked them out of Buckingham Palace. But again, people fall short of the next step. It's like, wait a minute, we're going to hold you accountable. And it is my humble opinion that it's not that Harry and Meghan Markle quit, but because the royal family was now so that they couldn't curb Meghan Markle's bullying, that they decided, hey, you're just junior royals, and we're not going to work with bullies. We really don't need you. And this is one of the things that she didn't understand, that nobody wants to work with a bully when you're in a position as the royal family. In any position, really, nobody wants to work with somebody who is abusing others. Do you know what I mean, guys? I don't know if I'm making myself clear on that one. I think that the royal family told them, either you stop the bullying or we're not going to work with you. This is why Meghan Markle was saying, no, I sent them letters telling them, use me. Who's going to want to use an abusive bully who is an idiot? Now, in regards to Mr. Markle, because I started and I get, he should be going to the police and filing a complaint, an accusation, saying that People magazine published the contents of his private letter without his authorization, and that he doesn't know how they got a hold of the private contents of his letter. That little investigation then the police will have to investigate, because that's a felony. That's a felony. So People magazine will have, hi Maggie P. So the police will have to investigate how the contents of a private letter, which has caused so much damage to him, how did they get a hold of that? And following that up, they will have to discuss how these 5 people got a hold of that letter. And if they got authorization from Meghan Markle to publish it, because if they didn't get authorization to discuss the contents of a private letter, that is a felony thing too, you know? So they're not doing it. So for me, they don't follow the next steps. They don't do that. The royal family should have said, you know what? And as soon as Meghan left or they did this, they should have, if they had started an investigation on the bullying claims immediately, they wouldn't be in this. But it's again the cover up, always protecting Harry. And this is not as much to protect Meghan, it was to protect Harry. You know what I mean? People, so for me, when I hear in other channels or people that you send me, the queen is powerless. No. And again, the queen, it is not complicated, it's not hard. They failed to remand a public document. All the queen had to do, or parliament had to do, is say, you have to present us the documents signed by the doctors stating that these children came from Meghan Markle's body, or we do not put them in the line of succession. And they already have precedent because they have all the other royal children with that document, and because it is required. But they don't do that. It's like the charities organization, when they said that the Royal Foundation transferred the money to Sussex that was legal, but that Sussex failed. And you know what? Sussex Royal, the charity from Harry, they still haven't handed in the closing accounts of the charity. You know, so people quit saying that the queen is this because Harry has mental issues. He does not have mental health issues. Being an idiot, being a jerk, being an asshole is not a mental health issue. It's being, you know, it's like people finding excuses. Oh, no, there are no excuses. If you know right from wrong, you know, I have a friend, she's a very good psychologist. And she said to me, you know, Paula, when you're a child, you don't have many choices about what is being done to you. When you grow up, you have choices on how to live your life and either take the experiences from your childhood to be something positive and not repeat it when you're an adult, or you go the opposite way. If you know right from wrong, and Harry knows right from wrong, he's not stupid. He knows right from wrong. But this is a man who is so stupid that he thought that we Canadians were going to be paying for his security. This is a man who is so entitled that he thinks everybody has to pay for his life. I am not joking, you know, but Harry knows the difference between right and wrong, and he had choices to make as an adult, and these are the choices that he makes. And people forget that there were two boys there. You know, there were I know, I don't understand why the Princess Trust is in the US. I really don't. He also has another one in Syria. I mean, why is he taking money out of the UK? The UK, you do that, you know, you can only help others when your home is looked after. You know, they say charity starts at home. I don't understand what he's doing there. But you know, James Corden is an idiot. But anyways, my point with all of this is that the queen, one thing is for sure, the queen is not helpless. The queen is very powerful. The queen can remove all of the titles. Parliament can put pressure on the queen. And Parliament can say, you know what, we can't continue with this. And Parliament could have said to Harry and Meghan, you have to present these documents and we have to make them public because it's the custom. And it's the way it's done, period. And if not, this act of Parliament, the settlement of 1701 needs to be amended, because that was basically like an extension of the 1689 Bill of Rights because the Bill of Rights was drafted really quickly, and it was to get the monarchy back as a constitutional monarchy. And then in 1701, they drafted this document to emphasize a little bit, to define a little bit more the role. But now that document needs to be properly amended and put limits on everything, because abuses used to be the rare thing. Now it's the norm, being abusive, being a crook. And I really do believe that the only thing holding the monarchy right now is the Queen's previous reputation of 70 years that she endured. But unfortunately, you know, people will remember the last act. Number one. Number two is the lack that is Prince William and his wife and the children, and the Countess of Wessex and Prince Edward. Those are the only people there, because the York girls, oh, I don't. They're trying to spin now. You know that Beatrice was with dating this guy who was living with his fiancée who had given birth to his son when they were dating. And yet, the press is disgusting because they're complicit with them, because the press knew all of that. And at the beginning, they used to publish stuff, but suddenly they went quiet, you know. And the press there's no journalistic responsibility anymore. People don't break stories. Everything is based on gossip and stuff like that. But that's just my opinion. The monarchies is in a very, very bad situation. Because it is their own doing, the lack of action. And I'm not talking that they have to talk bad about Harry and Meghan, but laws have to be amended, saying if you don't want to work as a member of the royal family or something, the bullying investigation, that should have been carried out immediately, now 2 years later. And now they're saying it's going to take another year to investigate. Why? I worked in HR. I can tell you it doesn't take that long. So I think that they're using all of this as bargaining chip, and they shouldn't. They just clean house, because unfortunately, I don't think much of Prince Charles. I really don't. I'm sorry, a lot of people. Well, actually, I don't apologize for my beliefs, but you know, yeah, Prince William would handle this shit really quickly. I really think he would, you know. But the Queen is letting her last act. You know, it's such a shame that such a beautiful career, such duty and devotion will end badly, because at some point she has experience to know about this, and she should know better. And the Queen is sharp, but I think that she has let her family get away with so much, you know, that it's just become the norm. Again, you know, that boundaries have been lost, morality has been lost, decency has been lost. You know, what is so wrong with accountability? I ask you all, what is so wrong with accountability? There's nothing wrong with accountability. That's a word that's sorely missed in 2021, and I hope that now starts to be used. But I am really looking forward to the trial. And please, guys, if you have Twitter or whatever, please put pressure, make things about Daily Mail to please publish more about that story, and also about the bullying. That investigation has to be made public, because the staff, the royal family can't be trusted, because they did not act for 2 years until exposed, which means that's the only way they act, which means that their transparency is not the correct, it doesn't come naturally to them. Cover up does, but not transparency. So anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go, because I've been talking for almost an hour and I don't want to bore you guys. So I really am sorry I talked for about almost an hour. You know, Meghan is not the root of the problem. Meghan is a symptom. The fact that Meghan was allowed to be part of the royal family is a symptom of what the problem in the royal family is. There are no checks for people. There are no back. You know, the Royal Marriages Act was a good thing, because it wouldn't allow people. Okay, I'll be a few more minutes because I don't want to bore you. You know, the Royal Marriages Act was a good thing because it put conditions on people who got into the royal family. Getting into the royal family circle used to be a difficult thing. The fact that Meghan Markle was able to get into the royal circle doesn't say very much. It says how bad the royal family circle has gone, which means that anybody can, and I mean anybody, can get in. You know what I mean? So before, in order for you, so the Royal Marriages Act was a good thing. And again, it falls because it's not Harry and Meghan, it's the fact that people like them are allowed to get away with it. Their standards are gone. There's no standards at all in the royal household. There's no standards, there's no moral standards, there's no financials, there's nothing. It's just, and this is what people like Meghan Markle are able to get in there and do what she's doing, because even after she got in, even after they, and trust me, they knew about her. Even the Queen, for example, should have said something like, Harry, because they had to, even Princess, I think Eugenie, was it? I had to wait to get married or postpone it because it was such a hurry. And again, it's my belief that Meghan lied and said she was pregnant, and of course the pregnancy disappeared. And nobody was happy, and nobody was happy. The Queen should have said, I will give you permission to marry Meghan in 2019. What was so bad about waiting another year? Why? Because Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, knew that that she would be found out very quickly. And let's not forget, her brother was right on the money. Her brother was right on the money. And I'm going to be petty a little bit, and I'm going to say I told you so, because in 2018, I did say, this woman is freaking stupid. I can't believe that this woman was, how did she get in that circle? People should have standards. And I think that a Royal Marriages Act should be put in place, that they should they should be engaged for at least 2 years prior to the marriage to see if they if they last. And that, they shouldn't get titles right away. But again, I think that Prince Charles is canceling titles, which is a good thing. But they have to do it right now with Harry. It's not up to Harry. I read in another thing, that they're having negotiations with Harry. What people don't understand is that they're giving Harry power. The royal family, they don't have to negotiate anything with him. All they have to is notify him. Harry, you have no more titles, and you're no longer a prince. Your name from now on will be Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten Windsor. They don't need to negotiate anything because he has no power. He's a nobody. It's the Queen who has the power. Do you know what I mean? And no, the Queen is not scared of Harry. Harry has nothing on them. Trust me, Harry has spilled his guts. He's an idiot. He's a 13-year-old idiot. When his mother died, unfortunately, and I'm a Princess Diana fan. But he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He doesn't. I heard at this YouTube channel they were saying, there have to be negotiations. What negotiations? For example, my kid, if he wants to borrow my car, he has to behave in certain ways. If he abuses that, no more car for you. I have the power. I have to own the car. The Queen owns all royal titles and privileges. All she has to do is say, you know what? I love you, Harry. It's called tough love. I love you, Harry. And sometimes you have to let people hit rock bottom instead of feeding their addiction or their vices. It's called being a responsible person, and the Queen has a duty of care towards the monarchy. Thank you, Maggie P. He is a true idiot. My kid, the Queen is holding all the keys to the palace. The Queen has all the cards in her hand. There's nothing to negotiate with Harry. Nothing. It's just to notify him. This is the Queen we're talking about, and Harry is just a junior royal. I don't know if you saw. I'm gonna leave because I don't want to bother you guys. I know it's taking so long, but there's a video. Let me have a little bit of wine then. There's a video, and I think you've all seen it. I think that I think it was when President Trump came to visit. No, it wasn't President Trump, but it was somebody, and you had the Queen, Prince Charles, and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And Harry and Meghan were there, and then Prince Charles turns to them and says, only senior royals, stay there, stay there. I think you guys have seen it. Have you guys seen it? And it's there, that video is there. And he had to keep repeating because it's like, they don't care. He knew that they don't care. They don't listen. And even then, while they were walking, they kept looking back at them because Harry and Meghan were passing back because they needed to be in the center of that. Do you guys remember that? That video where Prince Charles is very famous because Prince Charles goes, only senior members. Why? Because Harry and Meghan are juniors. We're juniors. They shouldn't even be there. And they're still in the website, the royal website, So, more wine. Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. I'm actually very sad because my son is in Lithuania. He went for 6 days vacation. and I miss him so much. But it's funny because you could see that the royals, senior royals, couldn't relax because Harry and Meghan, you can see Harry sneaking past them, and people are pissed off. They were pissed off. I'm sorry. And you remember that video, just done? Okay, yeah. And Prince Charles told him like 3 or 4 times, only senior royals, senior royals, senior royals. But I know they were stopped, but they still went behind them to get ahead. Remember that? Because they wanted to be in the frame. It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. They're both disgusting. So, but this was allowed. This was allowed. And Harry and Meghan have no power because they're confirmed liars. Meghan got more privileges than anybody in royal family. And a lot of you who talk to me about race, the one drop rule, the royal family has the one drop rule. They have Queen Charlotte, okay? And another queen prior to her. So, and it's very recent. You know what I mean? So the royal family is of mixed race. It's mixed race. It's just whiter, just like Meghan. The only thing is that Meghan doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes. But if she had come out, she's the spitting image of her sister, because now she's refined. She's done so much plastic surgery. You don't even know who the hell she is, But again, Harry and Meghan have no power. They're confirmed liars. And the reason the monarchy is in peril right now in England is because they have allowed abusive people to continue abusing, and they have covered up for them. And, yeah, there were medals. Yes, true. Thank you, Peg. Yes, it is true. It's true. Yes, it is, yes. Yeah, I don't know how to do cross-eyed. I think it can, I can do cross-eyed, because I'm trying to imitate her. I can't imitate her. But I'm going to leave with something like this. The pearl thing that she's doing? The pearl thing that she's doing is so funny, because now they're looking for a writer, creative director. They're looking for, so basically and how can they be just now looking for people to write that garbage when David Furnish, who's also another C-lister in escort serviceman in Hollywood, hardly anybody knows who he is. They've been working on it for 2 years. If you've been working on something for 2 years, it's almost about to be published, right? Now they're looking for people to write everything, do everything, create everything. It's so stupid. I gotta tell you, and again, I don't have a problem if they do it as Harry and Meghan. I have a problem because they're using titles, they're exploiting it, and they're slander the royal family, the monarchy, not the royal family. I don't care. I don't care if Harry wants to call Prince William whatever he wants to call him personally, but when he talks about the office of Prince William as an heir, that he's basically incapable of being a proper heir and rule because he's there against his will, that affects his ability to rule and do a proper job from his office. That's what bothered me. Now, Harry and Meghan have no talent. That book is laughable. You may dress a monkey in fine silks, but it's still a monkey. And Harry is a monkey and is an idiot. And worst of all, and I have a lot of ginger friends, I'm not being gingerist here, but I have a lot of ginger friends, and I can tell you that they're not idiots. But unfortunately, this one is, and it's bad representation for all gingers out there. Sorry, Paula. I have a friend also called Paula who's a ginger. Sorry about that. But yeah, so when I go back to Canada, I'm gonna start a petition to the House of Commons. Please, sign, if you're British, sign that petition I posted, because the guy is a very straightforward petition. There's no fancy wording there. It only says if working royals quit, they have to lose the titles and their place in the line of succession, because that's what Harry and Meghan Markle did. And it also says that they can't exploit their titles. So it's very straightforward. If you're British, please sign it. And for the love of God, you don't have to pay anything. It's a parliamentary petition. So it goes straight to Parliament. You know what I mean? Because Parliament can amend the line of succession, and Parliament can request that the 1701 Act be amended as to the royal because Parliament actually does draft laws and limit the powers of the monarchy and the roles, and that needs to be properly defined. You know what I mean? So please, please, please sign that petition and share it, share the hell out of it, because I do endorse that one. It's so. And I am going to do my own petition when I get to Canada, because it also, when you do, hi, Asia. Boy, you're really late. I've been blabbing for about an hour and 10 minutes. Anyways, I will start my petition in Canada, because you have to be in Canada when you initiate that petition, because it's to the House of Commons, so that they demand that those documents be presented. Enough is enough. And also, actually, from a Commonwealth country, they can request Parliament in the UK to amend certain things, because all countries have to be in concert. That's what it's called, So please, please, people, please share the hell out of that petition, And no, I don't believe Harry has mental health issues. I think it's exploiting that topic about mental health issues so he can get sympathy and say, oh, I'm tortured. This is a guy who was very well loved, who was taken care of, who received so much protection and adoration. So he didn't suffer it. When his mother died, he was even more spoiled. And now that he's made to actually own up and be a man, he doesn't like it. So the link in the petition is, if you go to my YouTube channel, it's in one of the posts I put there. So please, please, so please, please, please go and do that. Meghan is simply, and you know what's worse with Meghan? She's just as an idiot as Fergie. Because, and I know what I wanted to tell you. You know that Fergie, when she was doing this thing that she's saying, talking about, the royal family, that race played a big part and nobody should be judged on race. She's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. She said that she was lucky, that she was aware that she was very lucky to marry a prince. She didn't say, I was very lucky to marry Andrew, who's a wonderful man. She said she was lucky to marry a prince. Ka-ching, you know what I mean? She's lucky that she married a position of privilege. She knows that. Oh, thank you, Joanne Perry. Did you guys read that? How she said that she says that very proudly, that she knows she's very lucky she married a prince. For sure, I thought, because this is a 60-some-year-old woman living rent-free in a Crown State property. What the hell is she doing there? She's an ex-wife. You know what I mean? But she said she's lucky she married a prince. Not that she's lucky she met a wonderful man like Andrew and married him. And how the Jeffrey Epstein thing had affected her. Why? She knew the guy. She got money from the guy. She got, I think, $15,000 from Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if you guys know that. So, and they're all crooks. They're all crooks because they all knew what he was doing, And again, please, please, the Queen is not powerless. Harry has no mental health issues. What he has is entitlement, arrogance, and he's a liar. He's already a confirmed liar. This is, what they remind me of? I don't know if, adult film actresses, they might start doing certain things because they think of themselves, we're young and we do this. I actually saw this documentary about them and how they say that as they age, they have to do more degrading acts, people, because, of course, demand for them is not as high as before. So this is Harry and Meghan. They're digging deep down. They're degrading themselves more and more and more and more and more. You know what I mean? To the point that there are no boundaries, what they will do to get that attention. Do you know what I mean? That's what they are. They're pimping themselves out. And the less credible, the less demand they have, the worse acts they will commit to keep themselves out in the news. I don't know if I make myself clear. No, Gigi, I don't agree with a few things Lady C says, and it has nothing to do with her. The only thing I don't agree is she's a big fan of Charles. I am not a big fan of Charles. I don't like people who abuse power and who are very good friends with pedophiles. I know, I don't, and who abuse a woman with postnatal depression and in bulimia. I don't agree with somebody like that, you know. So I don't agree with, sorry, and I don't agree that Harry has mental health issues. I don't agree in that petition. I don't agree in playing games. I think that the reason why the monarchy right now is in a lot of trouble is because they have been playing games. They have been covering for Harry. Had they not covered for him, they wouldn't be having any problems. Had they played it straight with Harry and Meghan and exposed everything, they wouldn't be in this thing. Had they been straightforward with Andrew and say, listen, I understand that you're a grown-ass adult, but you have to, if you want to have, and you have to be in the royal family, you have to go and be transparent and allow yourself for the public. You know, so what if people know that you are an old man who likes young girls, young ladies? Please. So how many perf men are married with two really young women? You know what I mean? So what? But it's the arrogance that he didn't want to. And once he lied, he just had to keep lying. You know what I mean? Oh, I like Lady C. I'm actually a follower. Nothing against it. We just disagree. You know what, people? This is really funny because nowadays you're not allowed to disagree in certain aspects because then you become enemies. It's like, you know, it's like if you're a Republican or Democrat, you're not enemies, you're political opponents, or you have different political views. I don't talk bad about a friend of mine because he's an evangelical and I'm a Catholic. He's my buddy. We just have different religious beliefs. You know what I mean? So I don't have any trouble with her at all. We just have different points of view in certain members of the royal family. That's it. You know, I like her and I follow her and I like her videos, you know, but that's about it. You know, there's nothing like that. I have friends that are Democrats. I have friends who are, oh, and by the way, you know, I don't know if you've been to my Twitter account. Some people say that I'm a hooker. I have never done that, guys. If I had, I would probably tell you because I have nothing to hide. But this is what they were telling some of the sugars, putting my old name and saying that I was a prostitute somehow like that. No. I put myself through university and I worked as a waitress, bartender. I studied physical therapy and I worked in nursing homes and I put myself through university. So I never had to do that. So I actually made good money. But yes, so, you know, I can disagree with certain people. I have friends, we disagree in certain things, you know. But that's fine, you know, I still like them. They're my friends, you know, or whatever. So yeah, you know. Esia, you said that the queen has been an enabler her entire life. Yes and no, but I think that things got out of hand later on in life, you know. So, oh, thank you, Adiva Abdul Shatar. I hope I said it correctly. Yeah, I like Pidina. I actually do talk to her a lot. So, but the only reason I think that the queen started, you know, letting things slide a little bit here and a little bit there. But I really do think that her biggest mistake was not to be firm with Charles and say, listen, it's either you shape up or you're out. You know, because Prince Charles, the reason why he was allowed to do so much damage is because he knew there were no consequences. And this, the word, you have guys have no idea, accountability is such a big word for me. For my son, I do it all the time. You know, my mom was from Latin America, and I can tell you, I didn't get away with anything with my mom. What the hell is wrong with holding people accountable? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So, but for some reason that didn't happen. And it's a slippery road once things, you know, things will get away. For me, the biggest thing I got to tell you was when Fergie was caught on video and the police, that was the police failure as well, not to prosecute her, because they should have prosecuted her ass. She's another ginger, you know, gingers in the royal family, they don't do well for some reason, you know? So, yeah. What do you guys think? Now, do you guys think I'm being racist when I say that I'm going to start a petition to demand? You know why it's important to have those documents of those two children? Because it's not fair to the other children who are lawfully included in the succession line. There are rules for that. You know what I mean? There are rules for that. And I get so many things. For example, I get another thing saying to me that I'm a big racist pig. How can I be such a racist pig? I will never marry a ginger. Neither would I, you know, I don't like gingers. they're just not my type. It's just too white, you know. My ex-husband was very white. I don't even know, you know, I liked him because I thought he was a nice guy until I found out differently. But, you know, but again, you know, and people use a lot of sophistry. I'm going to tell you something today. And I promise you, I'm going to go because I don't want to bore you. I was in Oslo, downtown Oslo today. And suddenly I thought there was a king coming around because there's places everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this, you know? And they're like, they have cordoned off. The parliament is really small here in Oslo. So they have cordoned off that area. And I asked some guy, and he says, oh, well, we have people here. There were like 10 or 15 people. They have speakers, but the police had cordoned the entire area. And they said, we have police because these people are against the abuses of Islam. And I'm like, but why are they being so protected? I mean, the police was looking for, because Norway and Oslo, they have a lot of pro-immigration things. And I can tell you, those people for pro-immigration are the most racist that can be, from my personal experience. But anyways, so I asked the policeman, because I am against stoning of women. I am against child brides. I am against women not being able to vote or do things, you know, in the Muslim countries that they're not allowed to do. I have worked with some of the victims that are female, right? So I'm not for that. So this is what this 14 or 15 people were doing. But there were at least, I'm not joking, if there were over 100 policemen, because they were protecting them from other people that didn't agree with their opinion. And my point was, if they're a minority and nobody likes to hear what they have to say, why don't they just let them, hello from Bergen, why don't they just let them speak? Why should they be attacked just because they disagree with the majority of the views? The worst thing you can do to people like that is just ignore them. But they know that they're touching a nerve with people. You know what I mean? So I was surprised that their views, that they needed police protection, because their views was that they don't agree with the way Muslims are treated women. And it's so funny, if Norway being one of the, Bookworm is, I do like her a lot. I do talk to her a lot. That Norway is such a feminist country that they are welcoming people who abuse women. I'm not talking, they're very good Muslim people, of course, you know, they're very loving, respectful Muslim people, but these people are specifically against the practices that are abusive. You would think that people would be in favor of that, you know, not, but to me, it's just that intolerance to other ideas, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry about that, I went a little bit off topic, but it's just something that caught my attention. I've never seen anything like that. But my point of view is that I get a lot of things from you guys saying that I'm a racist pig. And how can a person like me talk about children, that the children, and let me tell you something, abusive people, they use children as a shield. You know, it's like a pregnant woman would come and slap you in the face for no reason, or push you around, and hiding behind the fact, or using the fact that she's pregnant to be abusive. You know what I mean? So when somebody comes and is carrying a child, they come and punch you in the face out of the blue. Oh, but I'm carrying a child, you know, you can't do anything. It's the same thing that Harry and Meghan Markle are using. And these people use sophistry a lot. Because when I say that there are legalities involved for these two to be in the line of succession, it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with the fact there are legalities involved, period. You know what I mean? And this is the problem with the monarch right now, is that all this unlawfulness, the bullying investigation, that should have been done at once. That should have been transparent. And I really do believe that it was that the royal family told them, we don't want to work with you because you're a bully, you're abusing people, and we want you out of Buckingham Palace. And if you are going to be, and I'm sure that in Australia, if anybody's from Australia out there, but apparently Meghan was Chucky from hell. You know what I mean? she was the worst person from hell. To all of my Aussie people, I don't know if I have any Australians there, she was a nightmare. She wasn't a success. She was a nightmare. She was rude, nasty, and I think she threw hot tea at somebody. I mean, the abuses of this family, the market in Fiji that they want, people have been waiting for them, and then she just took off because she wanted to go party with that other idiot, Jessica Mulroney. You know what I mean? So all these abuses, instead of being covered up, they should have been exposed, not in a nasty way, but say, hey, this is what's going on. Not have a newspaper reporter publish that. And to date, that staff is not getting justice. This investigation is not long. There's only so much staff Meghan Markle had. And all they have to do is interrogate them, get their story, and say, hey, wait a minute, if this is what she did to you, she has a lot to answer. And they have to state that publicly in order for the royal family or the monarch, not the royal family, the monarchy, to be believed. Because Prince William has made a big thing out of bullying and everything, and yet under his own home, under his palace, it was allowed and it was covered up. And he doesn't speak well of that either. Now, Harry and Meghan Markle are liars. This is not just something I'm saying. This is something that's been proven. There's so many lies. And again, they're getting so desperate that this is like the adult industry film star, that they're gonna keep making the most outlandish stories up just to. No, they were not sent to Canada. You know what I think happened? I think that they threatened that they were going to quit because they overplayed their non-importance, because they are so arrogant, the two of them. Really? Sorry, let me see what they said. Alex Belfield got a YouTube letter? Really? Meghan threatened Alex Belfield, all that. I'm a big follower of Alex Belfield. It's really funny. And he's a ginger. He's a ginger. He's great. I really feel bad for gingers. They're getting a bad rap. I'm not gingerist. I'm actually cool with that. But I'm going to repeat myself one last time because I've been speaking to you for almost an hour and a half, and I know I'm boring the hell out of you. Alex Belfield, he doesn't have to show the letter, lest we forget. I do believe him, because this is a guy who's not going to speak like that, especially so publicly. But did he show it? Oh my goodness, that's awesome. So yes, I mean, it's disgusting, that goddamn cartoon, because it bullies children and people from ET Entertainment, which is the worst. Oh, it was so funny. No, it wasn't funny. And they think that there's nothing wrong. But if they were to use it, why didn't they? You know what? Archie's there. Why didn't they use Archie at all? Or the parodies should have been, royals leaving palace or whatever. You know what I mean? But anyways, it was a lot of fun talking to you guys. Thank you for joining me. I didn't think anybody was going to join, but thank you. And thank you for being so nice. And yes, sign the petition that they want to address to Parliament, and please share it. Pidina has shared that petition as well. I was talking to her yesterday, and she posted it on her channel, and it's for you to click on that link. Okay, guys, please share that. And as soon as I get to Canada, God willing, I will do my petition to the House of Commons to demand that those two documents be presented. So thank you very much for all of you guys. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for your donations, guys. It's great. And I'll do another video some other time. And this week, I didn't do more videos because I wanted to do the live with you. So yeah, Harry is a ginger idiot. He doesn't have his only mental health issue is that he's an idiot, but an arrogant one. And the House of Windsor, for the monarchy right now, to me, this is my opinion, it's a make or break thing. You know what I mean? And it's not Meghan Markle bringing down the monarchy, it's the monarchy bringing down themselves, but not having standards, by having let the standards go. These are all my thoughts and opinions, So thank you, inshallah, Marina Perkins. So the Bride of Chucky. Oh, I have bad nightmares. Oh yeah, and Chucky is a ginger. Now that I remember. Sorry, just for funny. I swear to God, I'm not anti-ginger. But it's alhamdulillah. I don't know what that is, but all children have a right to be christened. There's nothing about about being christened or not. Every child has a right to be christened. It has nothing to do with that. But anyways, thank you guys. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for supporting. Sign the bloody petition and share it. And please, if you have Twitter or whatever, go to the Twitter account and bug the hell out of Daily Mail, asking them to please publish articles about the appeal and remind the royal family to make the bullying thing transparent and public. Okay, guys? And thank you. And I just want to emphasize once more, I'm not anti-ginger, just anti-idiots. Okay, so I'm not being thank you, Esia. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, and have a lovely, lovely weekend. Okay, bye, guys.